Look, I've seen it happen over and over again. People hit their 30s thinking they've got it all figured out, but they're still carrying around habits from their 20s that are quietly draining their bank accounts and their future. Here's the deal. What worked when you were 25 doesn't work when you're building real wealth and real stability. And I'm not talking about cutting out coffee or skipping the occasional dinner out. I'm talking about the big stuff, the expensive patterns that keep you stuck in place while everyone else moves forward. Real talk, I spent years making these same mistakes. I thought I was doing fine because I had a job and paid my bills. But fine isn't enough. Fine doesn't build wealth. Fine doesn't give you options. And after 30, you start realizing that options are everything. So let me walk you through 8 expensive habits that are holding you back, and more importantly, how to break them, starting today. Number 1, keeping up with people who aren't keeping up with their own lives. This one hits different after 30 because suddenly everyone's competing with houses, cars, vacations, and lifestyle posts that look perfect on Instagram. But here's what nobody tells you. Half those people are drowning in debt. They're financing the lifestyle, not funding it. And when you try to match them, you end up in the same hole. I learned this the hard way when I bought a car I couldn't really afford because everyone in my circle was upgrading. It looked good. It felt good for about 3 months. Then the payments started feeling heavy. The insurance was more than I expected. And I realized I was working harder just to keep up an image that didn't even matter to the people I actually cared about. Warren Buffett drives a modest car and lives in the same house he bought decades ago. Not because he can't afford better, because he's smart enough to know that real wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about being free. After 30, you need to stop measuring yourself against other people's highlight reels and start building your own foundation. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel like you're behind. Stop going to dinners you can't afford just to stay in the group. Real friends don't cost you your future. Number 2, subscriptions you forgot existed. This sounds small, but trust me on this, it adds up faster than you think. Streaming services, gym memberships you haven't used in 6 months, software subscriptions, meal kits, premium apps, cloud storage you don't need. $10 here, 15 there, 25 for that thing you signed up for during a free trial, then forgot to cancel. I did an audit last year and found I was spending over $200 a month on subscriptions I barely used. $200. That's $2,400 a year money that could have gone into investments, savings, or even just reducing stress. And I'm not alone. Most Americans are paying for things they don't even remember signing up for. Here's what you do. Tonight, pull up your bank statements from the last 3 months. Highlight every recurring charge. Ask yourself if you used it in the past 30 days. If the answer is no, cancel it. You can always resubscribe later if you actually miss it. But 9 times out of 10, you won't. Number 3, financing things that lose value. Cars, furniture, electronics, vacations. If you're financing it and it's not making you money or appreciating in value, you're moving backward. I get it. Everyone wants nice things. But financing a lifestyle is one of the fastest ways to stay broke while looking successful. After 30, you should be done with car payments on depreciating assets. You should be done putting furniture on credit cards. If you can't buy it outright or save up for it in a reasonable time, you're not ready for it yet, and that's okay. There's no shame in driving a paid-off 10-year-old sedan while you build real wealth. Buffett talks about this all the time. Don't buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't like. After 30, that advice should be tattooed on your brain. Every dollar you spend on a payment plan is a dollar that can't work for you in investments, savings, or building something that actually grows. Number 4, eating out and ordering in by default. This one's tough because it's so easy. You're tired after work, you don't feel like cooking, you open the app, order food, and boom, $40 gone. Do that 3 times a week and you're spending $500 a month, $6,000 a year on convenience. I'm not saying never eat out, I'm saying stop making it the default. After 30, you should have a system. Meal prep on Sundays, keep easy meals in the fridge. Learn 5 simple recipes you can make in 20 minutes. Because here's the truth, every time you order in instead of cooking, you're trading future security for present convenience. And it's not just about the money, it's about discipline. It's about controlling your habits instead of letting your habits control you. People who build wealth don't do it by accident. They do it by making small, smart decisions every single day. Cooking at home is one of them. Number 5, buying new when used works just fine. Americans have this obsession with new. New cars, new phones, new everything. But new comes with a premium that rarely makes sense. A 2-year-old car is basically the same car for 30% less. A refurbished phone works just as well as the latest model. Used furniture, used tools, used electronics, most of the time, they're perfectly fine. I used to think buying new meant I was successful. Now I realize buying new just meant I was paying more for the same function. After 30, you should be past the point where you need everything to be brand new to feel good about yourself. You should be focused on value, not validation. This is classic Buffett thinking. He's not out here buying the latest and greatest just because he can. He's asking if it serves a real purpose, if it's worth the cost, and if there's a smarter way to get the same result. That's the mindset that builds wealth. That's the mindset you need after 30. Number 6, ignoring your health until it costs you. This one doesn't feel like a money habit, but it's one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Skipping the dentist until you need a root canal. Ignoring the checkup until something's seriously wrong. Eating like garbage because it's cheap and easy. Then paying for it with medical bills and lost productivity down the road. I've watched people in their 30s and 40s ignore their health because they're busy or they think they're invincible. Then they hit a wall. Back problems, diabetes, heart issues. And suddenly they're spending thousands on treatments that could have been prevented with basic maintenance. Real talk, you can't build wealth if you're sick. You can't enjoy financial freedom if your body's breaking down. After 30, you need to treat your health like the investment it is. Get the checkups, move your body, eat real food most of the time. It's not about being perfect. It's about not letting neglect turn into a financial and physical disaster. Number 7, living in a place that stretches your budget too thin. Housing is the biggest expense for most Americans, and too many people are living in places they can't really afford because it looks good or it's in the right neighborhood. But if your rent or mortgage is eating up 40, 50, 60% of your income, you're setting yourself up for stress and stagnation. After 30, you need to be honest about what you can actually afford, not what you can technically make the payments on what you can afford while still saving, investing, and living without constant money anxiety. Sometimes that means a smaller place. Sometimes it means a less trendy area. And that's fine, because financial peace is worth more than an address that impresses people who don't pay your bills. Buffett lived below his means his entire life, not because he had to, but because he understood that real wealth comes from keeping more than you spend, not spending more to look wealthy. After 30, that lesson should be crystal clear. Number 8, not investing because you think you'll start later. This is the most expensive habit of all, and it's not even about spending, it's about not doing what you should be doing. After 30, every year, you delay investing costs you exponentially. Compound interest is the most powerful wealth building tool you have, but it only works if you start. I hear it all the time. I'll invest when I make more money. I'll start when I pay off this debt. I'll get serious about it next year. But next year turns into 5 years, and 5 years turns into 10, and suddenly you're 45 wondering why you don't have anything saved. Here's the deal. You don't need a lot to start. You need consistency. Even $100 a month into a low-cost index fund will grow into something real over time, but only if you start. After 30, you can't afford to wait. You can't afford to think you have all the time in the world. You need to make investing automatic, non-negotiable, and boring, because boring builds wealth. Look, breaking these habits isn't about deprivation. It's not about living a joyless life where you never spend money. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding that every dollar has a job, and your job is to make sure those dollars are working for your future, not just your present comfort. You've got this. You're smarter than you think, you're more capable than you've been acting, and you absolutely have what it takes to break these expensive habits and build something real. Now go do it.